the first of our 10 sessions of CORE. These are the classes I may have talked to you about when we met that talk about you get your license, you learn how to pass the test, and now what do you do? And so what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to go in order of each of the things that it takes to become a successful real estate agent. Our first class, I want to go through the agenda a little bit. Our first class is on lead generating prospect, and our second class is on lead generating prospect too. And the reason that is because it really is one of the most important things that we do. Okay? You'll learn how to write contracts, you'll learn how to work with buyers or sellers, but if you're not constantly prospecting for people to work with you, you won't do much. So it's the biggest part of your job is continue to lead prospect. So today we're going to talk about pulling your database together of people that you already know. So we're going to talk about that. Next week is a cool class. Next week we bring in 4 or 5 of our top producing agents that talk about how they lead generate, and they all use different systems to lead generate. And they say what works for them and what doesn't, and you're able to kind of pick their brains and figure out what's a good match for you. Then the following week we're going to talk about goal setting, action plans, time management, and tracking results. I'm a big believer in goal setting. You have to have a target that you're working towards or you won't get there, but you can't just have a goal. You also have to have an action plan. What are the steps that I need to do to get to where I want to be? And so I like that class. The next class is on working with buyers. Somebody calls you and says, I want to buy a house. What do you do? What's the first thing, second thing, third thing, fourth thing, all the way through to going to the closing. Next is contract preparation. We're going to go through a whole contract and we're going to talk about what goes in what blanks, but we're also going to talk about each paragraph and why that's important and how to explain it to people. So we'll go through a paragraph by paragraph on the contract. August 16th is when we bring in people from our mortgage companies, our affiliated title companies, homeowners insurance and home warranties to talk about all those different things and what they can do to help promote your business and how their products help fix some of your problems too. And then August 23rd is going to be on CMAs and listing presentations. That's figuring out what a house will sell for in this particular market. If somebody says, what will my house sell for, you'll be able to figure out exactly how to do that. It changes all the time, but you'll know how to do it for this particular market. It's a good one. I'll hand you a couple of different addresses and you get to tell me by working through it whether it's sell for in this market. Then our 8th session is on working with sellers. Somebody says, I want you to sell my house. Okay, what do you do? When do you go on the first meeting? How do you market that house? How do you follow up? Negotiating offers, that kind of stuff. Class 9 is then after you've got under contract, what are the steps between contract and closing to get everything done so you can get it closed on time. And the last one is on our Realty Executive Productivity Tools, the things that we have that you can use to help make you more productive too. So any questions about any of that so far? Okay, so let's get started on database, pulling together your database. You have in your notebook a fill-in-the-blank sheet that goes with this.
You can cheat.
I've already got hers filled in, so
yeah.
she's kind of cheated, so if we miss one, you can tell you what it was. People work with, I'm going to start out by telling you, people work with people that they know, like, and trust. It just is the way it is. And as a new agent, it's important for you guys to reach out to those people first, because those are the people that are going to be more likely to work with you. So, Bev, your first sale was with?
My sister, which was great. I think I showed her, I don't know, 4, and she wanted to buy them all.
That's a good practice. That's a good one to start with. So give me an idea of, so a database is really a list of relationships. When you pull together a database, it's not everybody you've ever known in your entire life. It's people that you think know and like you. They know you and they like you, and you think they trust you. And you think that they would consider having you help them through this buying and selling process. So for instance, who might be in your database? Who's a pretty given for your database?
Well, just friends, so, people I work with at my other job.
Your sister?
Sure. My sister, relatives for sure.
Alan, who would be somebody in your database?
I've got probably 70 or 80 prior customers that I gave roofs to.
People that you did roofing projects for. Because they trust you to do that, so they trust you to do this. Misty, somebody for your database?
Friends and family.
There you go. I mean, your mom. You would
Right.
hope your mom would be in there, So it's not a mailing list. It's not a list where you can go, you can actually buy a list of everybody that makes $200,000 in Johnson County and do a mailing to them. You certainly can do that, but that's kind of a cold way of going about business. The warmest, quickest way to do that is to market to people that know you already. Okay? So now we're gonna talk a little bit about where those sources come from. And I see Z coming in, so we're just gonna pause just a minute until he comes in. And then we'll get started again. Hi Z,
Morning.
hop right down there, sign in and grab a notebook. Just barely got started, so we'll get you caught up.
Thank you.
Okay.
I was watching the webinar, so that's why.
Yeah.
This chair doesn't move, so I don't know why. The rollers are stuck. Can't be my weight, can it?
Okay, Z, we were just talking about pulling together your database of people that know, like, and trust you, that want to work with you, and how those are the people you want to start with in your real estate career to kind of reach out to. They're people like your mom, your best friend, those kind of people, okay? So your database is not a mailing list, it's a list of relationships. Okay, so now we're going to skip forward to sources. Where can you find these people when you start pulling this list together, do you think? And the first one I would tell you is your address book. Go on your phone. It's actually fill in the blank on this one. Go to your phone, pull up your address book. Number one is address book. Right here. Okay? That will get you started, because what you want to do is you just want to pull together that list. And even if it's on a legal pad right now, just to get that pulled together, you want to start making a list of those people. Your address book. The second source that I would tell you would be like your Christmas card list. People that you send Christmas cards every year to. Somebody else said Christmas, and who would you invite to a wedding and a funeral, basically. Those are the people that you kind of are in your sphere of influence. Okay. Your third group might be associations. These are people through schools, church groups, friends of your kids and parents, that kind of stuff. Another one that's really strong is your social media contacts. That is a real easy way. If you're on Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter, go through and see who you're communicating with that. That's a good person to add to your database. Okay? Next is your vendor list.
Can I add one more to that?
You can add as many as you want, yeah, tell me.
It's neighborhood. I mean,
Your neighborhood, neighbors that you know.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. We're going to talk about next week, Z. It's called farming, how to reach out to a certain neighborhood, and they call that farming, having contact with that neighborhood continually, and that's a great thing to do too. Okay, vendor list. If you look in your packet here, go back a few pages after you fill in, you'll see your sphere of influence. Keep going forward, I'm sorry, not back, forward. There you go. Here's a good list for you to trigger your memory on sphere of influence. And whenever you're making that list of your database, go ahead and go through all these and ask yourself about all these people on here. And if you go a few more pages up, here's your vendor list. Okay? Your vendor list is people that professionally you're going to work with. Like your accountant, your banker, your dry cleaner, any doctors, okay? You're just pulling together a list of everybody that you can think of, that you know and that knows you, okay? And these two sheets give you a really good idea of how to go down that list and pull that together. Any questions on any of that so far? Okay, so then we have future sources of people to put in your database. Number one is open house leads. We talked about this just a minute ago. If you hold an open house and you register people when they come to your open house, those are people you can follow up and add them to your database.
Can I ask?
Anytime.
How do we, like, I'm new, so I don't know, how do I find these open houses?
Are you licensed in Missouri or Kansas?
Kansas.
Okay. I had an agent call me this morning and is looking for somebody to do an open house for a Missouri listing that he has.
From Missouri?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I'm going to pass on Misty's name to go ahead and do that because she's licensed in Missouri. You can tell me, and I can keep my ears open. You can tell the switchboard, and anybody that's looking for somebody, then I can pass your name and number on to them. It's kind of like
And is it usually like for so many hours or 1 hour, 2 hours?
Depends on what the agents do. Normally, I would say 2 hours.
2 hours?
2 hours on a Saturday or Sunday.
Okay.
But you can do it, it's your open house, you can do it as long as you want, to be honest with you. And the more the better. You know, the more exposure that house gets, the happier the agent's gonna be, and the more exposure you get to people coming in too. 2 hours, I would say, was pretty standard.
I was curious if we're running an open house, like, is it frowned upon to make cookies in the oven while you're hosting an open house?
No, you
No?
certainly can do that if you want. Clear it with the homeowner.
Right,
To make sure
because it proves that
they don't
the-
keep their quilt or anything in the oven. You know?
Opening up and all the dirty
That's
dishes.
right, all the dirty dishes are in there.
The
'cause
only
they-
problem I would have if nobody showed up, I'd eat all the cookies.
Well, absolutely.
That's-
Then you walk
I've
them
done
around
that.
to the neighbors and you hand them out. And you're like, hey, I made cookies while I did this open house, and you introduce yourself.
So, another
Yeah.
question. So,
Yeah.
so if I'm doing the open house and someone walks in
Uh-huh.
and they haven't signed up with anybody.
Yeah, it's
I
your
can-
buyer.
That's my buyer.
It's your buyer. And that's part of when agents have other agents do their open houses, that's kind of the agreement, is anybody that comes in, that, first of all, they want you to try to sell that house,
Yes.
because if you can sell that house, you can represent them in selling that
course.
house. But if you can't.
Everyone wins.
That's right. But if they're not gonna buy that house, then apps, it's a great opportunity for you to say, hey, have you looked at other houses in the neighborhood? We'll talk a little bit more next week in detail about open houses, but that's a great way to pick up leads for you. Terrific way to pick up leads. Misty, back to what you were saying, one of the things that you can do if you're gonna know you're gonna hold an open house for an agent is take flyers around the neighborhood the day before and say, hey, I'm gonna be in your neighbor's house, you know, come by and see me, and oh, by the way, do you know of anybody that's looking to buy or sell that I could help? So, yep, that's where the
Brilliant.
quickest leads come from, is people picking them up from open houses. And sometimes they're great, sometimes it's a bust, sometimes you eat all the cookies, you know, you never know how it's gonna turn out. But if you can do open houses, I would do as many as you can. So when you come across other agencies and agents in the office, let them know that you're wanting to do open houses for them, and I'll keep it in mind too. Matter of fact, I'm gonna write you down right now, Z.
I might have certain days that I can do,
Yeah.
and I might not be open.
Well, no, and you don't always have to say yes too. If they call you and say, hey, I've got a house that needs to be open, would you be willing to do it? Then you can say yes or no. Okay. And then, did I tell you referral leads is your other future source? These are referral leads. I personally work by referral. Next week, we're gonna talk about that also. But I've kind of taught people that know and like me and trust me to refer people to me. So that's where 100% of my leads come from, is people send them to me, which makes it easier. But that's another source but you gotta teach people that you're looking for that too. Okay, so what kind of information, we're making a list of these people, right? So what kind of information do you think you need for each of these people?
Name, address, phone number,
Email address.
And email.
possibly the number of people in their family.
Can't hurt. That can't hurt, for
So
sure.
you know what size of house they need.
Name, address, phone number, preferably their cell, and why would that be?
Because most people, you get in touch with them with their cell phone.
Okay, there's another reason.
You can text them.
You can text them, that's right. And also write down how you know them, okay? What's your connection with them? If you have all of those things, you'll be able to market to people a couple different ways. You'll be able to pick up the phone and call them occasionally. You'll be able to send them a text occasionally. You'll be able to send them something in the mail occasionally, and you'll be able to email them, okay? If you just call people over and over and over again, hey, do you know anybody that's looking to buy or sell? Hey, do you know, they're gonna get sick of that. But if you send them a little piece of real estate information in the mail sometime with a little note, if you send them a text message, people are more likely to you want to be in their forefront of their mind, and they're more likely to be thinking about you, whether they're looking to buy or sell, or if they hear of somebody looking to buy or sell. Okay? Now, where do you keep this list?
And your phone.
Well, you could. There's a couple things you can do. One, first, just put it on a
Sure.
sheet of paper. I just make a sheet of paper if that's all it takes. We'll start making these lists of people. Some people do it on an Excel spreadsheet. Just put an Excel spreadsheet with all that information in there.
How about contact management?
Contact management service is the next one, is any kind of CRM. We have a great one that you get here for free. It's called Prime Agent. Whenever you sign up, it's a terrific CRM program. It'll let you put them in there, it'll put notes in there, it'll put follow-ups, it'll put reminders for you. So our Prime Agent CRM is a great one to use. There's also other CMRs and CRMs out there. There's Buffini, there's Top Reducer, there's other things, but I would say just starting out, use the free one. That's all you're gonna need right now. And other people sometimes use Outlook to do that. And Prime Agent is a web-based product, so Misty, to answer your question, you do have it with you. You know what I mean? You can pull it up at any time by having it on your phone. I would remind you that this list is fluid. You're never done. Okay? I would encourage you, part of your homework's gonna be for today is to start pulling together your list by the time we see each other next week. If you can get 75 to 100 people, you're doing really, really well. Okay? You might not be able to come up with that many, but that would be my goal, 75 to 100 people. Okay, Alan, you're there just with your past clients, your past customers. Yeah. And it can be more than that, but get it to be a manageable number. So you'll always be adding and deleting people from this list, okay? Who might you not put on this list? Somebody that knows, likes, and trusts you, but who might not put on this list?
Died.
A what?
The people who died.
Dead people, that's a good one.
Those are the ones.
Yeah. Or when they die, you delete them. That's part of that fluid, taking it in and out.
Somebody who's not financially, like just because you know them and you trust them doesn't mean that they're capable.
They're ready to buy, but they might know somebody, Misty.
True.
Be careful with that, because
Okay.
I sold a $26,000 house one time, honest to God. And it was to a young couple that was gonna go in and do the work and do it. She was a nurse, she was in training to be a nurse, and she referred me to a doctor.
Oh,
You know,
nice
so
connection.
you never know, you just
Right.
never know. I would say the only person I wouldn't put on my list is somebody that's a realtor. Or someone who has a close relative that's a realtor, or that tells you, I already have a realtor, you know,
Right.
that I use. There's not a lot of point in marketing those people. Although, I'll share this story with you. I work solely by referral, and I have what I call my A+ referrers. These are people that have sent me multiple referrals. And I've got this couple that has just been wonderful. They were getting married, and she had her house to sell, and he had his house to sell, and we bought a house together. And they said, here's what we want to do, and we want to do it by our wedding in July. And I'm just going, well, no pressure there. I got to sell 2 houses and find them another one by a date. So I said, you've got a plan B? And they said, yeah. I said, okay, let's try it. Well, we did it. We got it all done, and they were happy, and they got married, and they moved into their new house. And they have done nothing. They're the kind of people that I go to their barbecue, and they drag people over to meet me. You need to talk to Sherry about buying a house. I mean, they're advocates, which is wonderful. Well, guess what? Daughter's getting a real estate license. I was like, oh, I can't believe, of all people, her daughter's getting a real estate
But what you need
license.
to do is recruit her under you.
Well, I'm hoping that's exactly what I told her.
Then you still get.
That's exactly what I told her. So I'm coached by a real estate coach, and I said, what the heck do I do? I mean, they've become friends of mine, you know, they're on my mailing list, they get all my stuff I send out. Do I stop sending stuff to them because their daughter's gonna be a realtor? And my coach said, no, you need to keep doing it. You just need to keep doing it, because you never know.
She might go for a little while then quit.
That's right. And so I sat down and said, I had dinner with them. I said, I don't know what to do with you guys, because I know you're going to want to send business to your daughter. I completely understand that. And they said, no, you really don't. She's going to be brand new until she gets really seasoned. We're not going to send anybody to her. We're going to continue to use her. And so then hopefully I'll get her recruited on my team by the time she actually gets going.
Right.
So don't prejudge people, because you might be surprised. Anyway, it's never done. Every year I go through and take people off that I think, you know, we've lost contact with, or they've moved or something, but I'm constantly adding more people on. It's a goal of mine to add 2 people a month to my database. It's one of the things that I try to do. Okay, so then you get this list together. Your next thing you want to do is you want to ABC your database. You're going to prioritize your database, okay? A people are people that are most likely to use or refer you. Who would these people be? Give me an example of a person.
Relatives.
Friends and family is the.
My father.
There you go, Dad. There you go. Okay. B people are people that probably would refer you if you ask them. Okay. They're not going to really come to forefront of mind unless you can ask them to do that. And C people are people that you're not sure, and these are normally due additions. You just don't know whether they're gonna be a good referral source for you or not. Because you wanna spend the majority of your time with your A's, really treat those people right, and then B's and then C's. Okay, so this is where you start marketing. So the first thing that you're gonna do is you wanna send, you got your list all pulled together, right?
Mhm.
You're gonna send out an intro letter and say, guess what, I'm a realtor now. And I put one in your packet here. It's the one that says your logo here as an example. Keep going. There you go. Definitely change it around so that it suits you, but it's a really good letter to, first thing you do when you have your database all pulled together is send them out a note with your business card in there and say, guess what, I became a realtor. And here's all the things that I can help you with, and if you know of anybody, so on and so forth. Okay? Then the second thing you want to do, if you want to turn to the next page, is then follow up about a week after they've had a chance to receive that letter with a phone call. And my coaching company calls it the mayor campaign. This is where you just call and say, you ask people, you know, if you were going to buy or sell a house or you knew somebody that would, do you have a realtor that you refer to? This is called qualifying. Like, it's called the mayor campaign because if you were running for mayor, you're trying to figure out who would vote for you.
Right.
Same thing. If you were going to buy or sell a house or you had a friend or family member, do you have a realtor you referred to? And they're either going to say yes or no. They're going to say yes, we've used the same realtor for 25 years, and you're going to say great. Just wanted to let you know I'm in real estate. Everybody needs a good realtor. I appreciate your loyalty. And then put them as a C or a D on your list, okay? But if they say no, then you say, I'd love to be that realtor, if that's the case. And those people become A's or B's. You with me?
Mm-hmm.
So then you've got a sorted. And the other thing that a lot of new agents fear, if you go to the next couple pages, it says the new agent dialogue. Keep going. Misty, how long have you been in real estate?
30 days.
Okay, everybody hates saying that. I used to say I am in my first year.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Because you are. You're in your first year. But a really good way of doing it is this dialogue right here. It says, you know what, I'm really new to the business, but I have a lot of energy, I'm fired up, I'm enthusiastic, and I have time available for you. We encounter a problem that I don't know the answer to. I'm one phone call away from people in my office who have hundreds of years of experience. I get you all the answers you need, because that's what they want to know. They want to know how much experience you have. They want to know if we run into an issue, are you going to be able to handle it?
Can I use like I have a team that has so many years experience, and they will back me up
Absolutely.
if I have any.
Absolutely. And the thing that you guys have that some other agents don't have, you've got some real benefits going for you. One, you're not worn out yet. You're kind of all fresh and shiny and not jaded, and, you know. So that's a good thing. That's a really good thing. And you know those from your previous careers, you know, that you just get to where people have done you wrong and you kind of, you know, have a jaded personality. Well, you don't have that yet. So you guys are all fresh and new. You have time.
We haven't been beaten up
You
yet.
haven't been beaten up yet. You
You have time to be beaten up?
Yeah, talk to me in 15 years. Yeah, you have enthusiasm. You don't know what you can't do yet, so you know you'll go in and you'll do anything you need to do. But the one thing you really have going for you is you have time to give people personalized attention, and a lot of it. And that's what people want. And if you don't have all the answers, then there's okay saying, you know what, I don't know. Give me 1 minute and let me check with somebody. I don't have an answer back for you. That all people want to know is that you can fix it.
Yes.
You don't have to have all the answers. You just have to know how to get to them to help them. Okay? And then the next step I would tell you to do is do some sort of monthly contact. Okay? Have some sort of, that you send something out to them or you call them or something every month to everybody in your database. See?
So, as I understand, on our CRM, there's a campaign deal that is not free.
Right.
Is it? Am I correct?
Yeah, correct.
And so they would not send emails to my clients that I have in my
It's not going to
system.
automatically send them.
They
It's
would not do automatic, but
Right.
if I go and say, okay,
Put together the email, hit send.
okay,
You can do it yourself.
okay.
And you can also put in there for it to remind you to do something each
Okay.
month for each of those people.
The thing I wanted to ask is how do we add I don't know how to add the logo
Okay.
whenever I'm trying to send my email. You know, like
So
when you
easy.
send me an
Yeah.
email,
Yep.
it has the,
Yep.
I don't know how to do that.
Under Prime Agent, are you
Yes.
signed into Prime Agent
Yes.
yet? There's a thing under the marketing tab that I think says logos or banners.
Okay.
And you basically just click on it, save it as a JPEG, and insert it into your email signature or whatever. And if you don't know how to do that, I'll find somebody to help you through it.
And I think what she would want, I mean, like, I'm going to also, is to have like your name and add, you know, what do you put, address,
Mhm.
company name,
Mhm.
cell phone, and then Facebook, you know,
Mhm.
whatever.
Your logos and all that kind of
media,
stuff.
you know, that you're connected with.
We have a gal, if you wanna figure it out, just Google it and figure it out. I'm not an expert at it either, but I've
Right.
done it before. If you don't wanna figure it out, there's a gal in the office, her name is Christy Jorgensen. And what she does now is she will meet with you. She'll give you a price for what it would cost you to have her do it all or set it all up for you. It's
Right.
extremely reasonable. That's
What's
all.
her name, Christy?
Christy, Kristee, and last name is Jorgensen, Jorgensen. She'll get it all set up for you. I mean, it's cheap, guys. It's worth not spending the time to do it, if you ask me. But she can get it all set up for you and get all those logos and all that kind of stuff in there for you too. And my last piece of advice to you is you worked hard to get this license. Don't be a secret agent. You know what I mean? Let
Yeah.
people know. There's a thing called what is it called? Reticular Activator, I think is what it's called. There's a little part of in your brain. What kind of car do you drive, Z?
Lexus.
What
I
color?
have a silver.
A silver Lexus. Misty, how about you?
A Jeep Grand Cherokee blue.
Good. Alan?
Black Escape.
Black Escape, okay.
Gray CRV.
Okay.
How
I'm
long
gonna
is
use,
that?
I'm gonna use your Black Escape, because I used to drive a black RAV4. When you bought that car, okay, didn't you start seeing them all over the place?
Oh, yeah, and I still see them all over
Look
the
how many
place.
Black Escapes are on the road, and you would have never noticed that ahead of time, right? But when you drive one, you start to see them all. It's the same thing, it's the same thing with being, being a real estate agent. You want to somehow be in the forefront of people's minds, so that if they hear somebody next to them at work say, you know, I don't know whether I can afford to buy a house or not, but I'd sure like to find out, kind of stuff, then they think, you know what, my friend Bev sells houses, let me give your name and number to her and have her call you. So that's the reason you stay involved and stay in touch with that database, is so that you're continually in the forefront of their mind. They'll get to where, I mean, when you really get into this, if you're in a food court and somebody says something about real estate on the other end of the food court, you can hear them. You know what I mean? Because that's what you're tuned into doing, and it will be the same way with people that are thinking about you.
And when I pass out cards, I usually give them 2 or 3.
It's a good idea. I have a whole different theory on passing out cards.
Oh, you do?
I do, but let me share it with you. First of all, it's a great thing to do. Don't stop doing it. But there's a little thing I read about the 8 miracles that have to happen for somebody to actually get your card and call you.
Okay,
1, the people you give it to have to hold on to it.
true.
2, they gotta remember where they put it.
That's true.
3, when somebody says something to them about realtor, they gotta remember that you gave them a card. 4, they gotta search through and find the
But
card.
hopefully it's something stuck in their mind.
If you're doing it just to stick in their mind, that's great.
Yeah.
But I always tell people, if you know of anybody that wants to buy or sell real estate, call me with their name and number and let me follow up with them.
Mhm.
Because that way I can control it a little more than just waiting for somebody to happen to pick up the
Sure.
phone and call me. But it's still a great idea to do it. But I pull out 2 cards and I say, well, give this one to them, and then the other one I flip over and take the information down and I keep one.
Oh, I like that.
So then you got both. They're getting your cards or
That's
what you
brilliant.
got. Yep, works. I've had too many of those where I say, I'm gonna give my card to your friend, and they never, ever, ever call, you know? So at least I can call them, and then if they wanna blow me off, they can blow me off to my face. I don't have to wait for them to call me.
I like that.
Okay, Marshall, we'll have to catch you up afterwards. What,
I'm sorry,
that's
I
okay,
forgot
we're
about
doing
it. I was on my way to Costco and it flitted
did.
into, I was like, oh no, I forgot that class.
Well, week number 3 is on time management. so-
Okay, good.
We'll get you all
That will
caught up.
help.
Okay, so your homework for this week is to pull together your database. So how many people do we want in our database?
75 to 100.
75 to 100, and what information are you gonna have on each of those people?
Name, email address, phone number and home address.
And how you know 'em. How you know 'em. And if that's just on a piece of paper, that's great. If you wanna put it into your CRM, that's great too. So, open for questions and answers. What didn't we cover about pulling your database together and starting to market to the people that know, like, and trust you already? Z?
So, I have my database on an Excel sheet, I think it is an Excel sheet, like my email. So, when I was going through this webinar, they said that we have to transfer that to a different file in CSV format.
Yes,
So I need to make sure that I can do that.
it's so easy. It
Is it?
sounds like it's hard, it's so easy. Open that file up and then do a save as.
Okay,
And then there's a little drop-down menu above the name, below the name of what it is.
okay,
It will say CSV.
cool.
Just hit save and you've saved it as CSV and you can import it into
And it'll be
Prime Agent.
different from the original file.
Yeah,
but
it's a
says
little
CSV.
different, but it's the same thing. Try that. If you're having problems, call Christy,
Okay.
okay? She'll talk you through it. Anything else, Steve? Have you
I-
started pulling your database together yet?
See, that was, I had today, I just came from, we had a webinar today. And I thought it was 10 o'clock, but then they changed it to 12 o'clock, so I said, well, I have 1 o'clock.
They gotta look at what
here.
time zone you're in and they do that,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I just finished that, and so I need to.
Was that a Prime Agent webinar?
Prime Agent.
Great, good for you.
So,
Tell them how you knew about that. Share with them.
I received an email, frankly.
Good.
And I just said, yes, I want it.
For the webinar,
For the
I noticed I got an email today, it was today, and I was like, I don't think I can
Oh.
make both things happen, so.
Okay,
I figured that was very important, that's the most
well,
important
and you can always
thing
come
to
in here
me,
and watch the
because-
webinars here too. You can watch them on the big screen TVs if you want to too, if you ever have a thing with that, so.
And they
Conference
said that,
rooms, yours to use.
she was going to tape that, and they
Watch it.
will send it to us in email,
Mm,
and so
good.
we can watch it again,
That's
That's
exciting.
so.
Yeah, it's a good CRM. Bev, any questions for you?
No.
This make more sense than the first time around?
Yes.
Doesn't it, after you've been doing
It
it for a
does.
while? Alan, does it make any sense to you at all? Probably,
It's
this
pretty-
does.
Pretty simple, yeah.
Okay, good. Mitzi? Misty, I'm sorry. And Marcia, we'll get you caught up in just a minute.
So the key is to find people.
The key is to find people and continue to find
If you
people.
wanna sell houses,
It is.
absolutely.
To stay in contact with us.
Oh, yeah, and stay in contact with them, because most people can tell you, did you use a realtor when you sold your house? Yeah. Well, what was her name? Well, she did a great job, but I have no idea. And most of them, people say they would reuse their realtor, but they don't stay in touch, so it's a really big deal.
Our realtor was a friend of ours, a very good friend of ours,
See? There
so
you go.
that's what got me into doing this.
Yep.
And stealing business from him.
Oh, good job. Good job. So
Evil laugh.
pull your list together and we will, and bring it with you next week, please, if you would. And we'll kind of go through those a little bit. And then our next one it's a neat roundtable. You're gonna meet some neat realtors that all lead generate different ways. Try to get, I haven't got the list confirmed yet, but we've got a realtor that's big on open houses, does open houses every single weekend on all of her listings, gets her leads that way. We've got somebody else that works by referral only, tells you how he works by referral and what he does. We've got somebody that does FSBOs for sale by owners and expos, to where she contacts for sale by owners and offers to help them, and eventually ends up with a listing that way. And she goes to different expositions like, I don't know, the Greek festival, and sets up a booth and, that kind of stuff. And so she's gonna talk about how she does that, that's successful for her. And then the last one is on Zillow leads, paid Zillow leads. That's Christy, by the way. Somebody knock on the window.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
She's making a break for
She's
it.
making a break for it.
She's busy with 3 kids, so.
So,
her
can I
attention.
ask, what businesses you all came from?
Sure.
Or what did you do before
You
this?
started since you brought it up.
Well, I'm really a car guy. I've been in the car business 32 years.
Selling and buying?
Selling, management and finance, and for 32 years. And I just thought that I wanted to do something different. I got tired of, like she said, you can get tired of certain things. I was very successful with it. I just want to do something different because the companies are changing and they want to change things. I want to do something. And I know that this might be harder than that. Why? Because over there, people come to you. So
Right.
they're
Here
in
you
front
have
of you. It's, I'm not looking for them. But I think that if you use, what my thinking is that I have like 700-800 people that I have touched and done business with, and they all live in this area, that I'm going
Good for
to.
you.
Huge
It's awesome.
database.
That mayor campaign will be a good thing for you to use.
Exactly.
Because you gotta figure
And
out
I have
who
their
has a
phone
realtor and
numbers,
who
I mean, I
doesn't.
have their addresses, email, and they know me. So
Yeah.
That's
they've
beautiful.
done business with me before. So I'm hoping that, I won't starve to death.
You're not gonna start
I have
that.
4 kids and I have, and I have a lot of bills.
You're gonna be just fine, but you're
I can't-
motivated to get off to a quick
I
start
have
for
to,
sure.
I have to,
Okay,
yes.
Bev, go ahead.
Well, I taught for 30-plus years, and I
Wow.
still teach part-time. I've got a little part-time job. And I've always loved dealing with houses, so.
Don't you build your own houses and that kind of stuff
Yes,
too?
I've done a lot of rehabbing, and I've built a house or two, so it's just, it's in me. I love it. My next life, I'm gonna be a builder.
A builder?
I am, I wanna do
It's
that.
not too late to do it this time,
This is,
you know.
yeah, right.
Alan?
I came from roofing.
From roofing.
Well, see, if I build, I
Well,
can.
that's a good business.
You got your roofer.
That's a good business.
Yeah, I'm a door knocking fool.
Yeah,
So I've done it for about the last 4 years, all 1099.
That's great.
So residential, business. So that's probably how I'm gonna get my start.
Yeah, he does what I hate. I hate
I'll
door
just
knocking, but
do
he'll be great
what
at
I
it.
feel comfortable
He'll
in.
be great at it.
I've made cold calls, but they're,
Ugh.
so I have done a little bit of everything. I've been a substitute teacher, I've done daycare, I've done collections, I've done retail, I've done food. I was a stay-at-home mom for 7 years before I jumped on this bandwagon to do this.
You're gonna be great. Marcia actually has a tiny bit of experience.
Somewhat,
Yeah.
yeah. I actually had a license so many years ago that my children were little and now they're in their early 40s. So,
Been a minute.
yeah. And what I discovered was when you have children and you're paying daycare and it takes 6 months to get your first cell, you can't afford it. We couldn't afford it. I wasn't married to a doctor, so so I had to give it up. But I loved it, and I've always loved it, and we've lived in 5 states, and I've owned 8 houses, so I just never get tired of looking at houses and trying to help people. Yeah.
It's my favorite part of the whole entire thing is just sitting through and looking at houses.
And in the meantime,
Daydreaming.
all those years I've worked in banking and financial services, so I'm used to dealing with people and their money anyway, so this is just more exciting.
It's fun to
Nobody
spend
ever-
someone else's money.
It really is.
So much more fun than spending your own.
It really is.
I tell you, for me, I'm scared to death.
Are you?
Okay, I'm so scared that I had to take a pill. Why? Because
I wake up
I'm
nauseous
afraid
every
of
morning.
see, most of the people, they have husbands or wives that are bringing, they
Some
don't
money.
have to worry about, how much money they make. They
Right.
want to get going. I can't. I have to succeed.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll
That's
go.
why you'll do really well, because
So
you
I'm
don't have
scared.
to.
I mean, I
you're
wake
gonna
up
be
and I
fine.
can't go to sleep. I'm like, what am I gonna do?
Well,
And
turn
my wife.
that nervous,
Me too.
turn that nervous energy into action, okay?
Okay, so-
Instead of being nervous, get
When you're
up.
talking to people at the grocery store.
That's right.
Well, I mean, I'm a salesman. Okay, so I can find. I mean,
I'm not a good salesman. I'm a good people person.
Well, that's
I love
I
people.
mean, that's what a good salesperson is a good people person. We're not in the house
you're
business
actually
or
a
in the car
helper.
business.
What
We're
you're
in
doing is
people
you're helping
business,
people
really.
do what they
And the
wanna do
people who
anyway.
succeed
You're
are the
not-
people who
I
can
don't-
talk.
you're
I can't
not
sell you
selling.
something you don't want.
That's right.
But if you want it, I can absolutely help you
That's
find
right.
it.
You're gonna help them
So-
through all the steps.
And I'll move mountains to
Yep.
find exactly what you want.
Absolutely
Because that
right.
makes me happy when you're happy.
Yeah.
And my
Absolutely.
problem is that I already have people that says, yeah, Z, come on, let's,
You
I have a
already
friend.
had some
Well,
good
you're
ones.
good.
Oh, yeah, well, I have, I know a bunch of doctors over here that are friends, and I called my first friend, and he says, hey, what about these properties, I want some rental properties, so I said, he says, well, go find me some rental property. So, and
He's
I.
in here his
and-
second day, we're setting up MLS searches for people. I said, where did you get these people already?
So, at work, and these people trust me, so, they, and at work, and I said, hey,
I don't think you should be as worried as I am.
We need to make Marcia feel better.
I don't
So
know
thank you
nearly
for
as
that.
many people as
I've
you
only
do.
been here 2 years, and I don't have nearly that number of people here. I've lived
I
down
don't
in
think
the-
I ever will, but.
But, you know, if you need help, I'll be your assistant.
There you go.
The thing is that, you know, I have 2 kids in college, 2 in high school, and my wife hates to work.
Well, you may have.
And do me much good.
I think we
but-
all hate to work, but you know.
Oh, I
Okay?
don't, I love work.
So, I'm under a lot of pressure, so.
Well, I
But
am
the
too.
thing is, I have to quit my job because if I don't quit the job, I cannot go after those customers.
Mhm.
So I have to leave that, and so I'm thinking maybe I should have another job somewhere. What do you think? I mean, because even if I sold a house tomorrow, it will take 60 days to close. So I want to make sure that I have some income coming. And that's what my dilemma is, that what,
Yeah.
you know, and because my wife keeps saying, are you sure you know, I know you can do it, but are you sure? And it's scaring me to death.
I tell you what, there's not a day I don't feel that way too, and I've been doing it 17 years, okay? So you never know where your next one's coming from, even if you've done 25 the last
But
year.
my mind goes fast. I mean,
Well,
I'm aggressive, so.
It sounds like.
It's part of working commission-only sales, and the best thing I can
Right.
tell you is what I've been told, is when you do have a paycheck, get a couple paychecks ahead in the bank, you know, get a little cushion there, so when you are having a
Because
little
it's
bit.
feast or famine.
It's feast or famine, and whenever you do it, you make big, and then you might have some stuff, but the stuff that we're gonna try to teach you is gonna teach you how to get off the ground pretty quick. That's why I said, set on open houses, that's the quickest way you can do it. Contact everybody in your database. Are you licensed in Missouri, Marcia?
Not yet, I'm still
Okay.
waiting on the permanent copy.
Okay.
They're so slow.
They are.
Get a hold of everybody in your database and say, who do you know? You know, start doing open houses, those stuff are gonna get you off pretty quick. But then we're also gonna tell you to continue, what stuff to continue to do so that stream isn't so that it'll be
Sporadic.
a little more even. It won't ever be like this.
You
but
have to
maybe
keep
a
the
little.
pipeline.
You gotta keep the
I did
pipeline
roofs
going.
when I first started,
Right.
January of 2014. It took me till like June 1st to get my first check.
Yeah,
But it was like, after that, I got checks every week.
right.
How many
but
hours a
I'll-
week did you continue doing your old job? Because that's what I'm
I
thinking
was
is.
actually in between.
He's in classes
I
right
did,
now.
I
He's not starting
begged,
yet.
borrowed, and stealed until I got my first check.
Yeah,
And luckily my boss kept my tank full.
yeah.
He kept me running. Here's where you need to go. And I just started jumping on roofs and opening up claims, and I was started opening up my first day.
And all I can tell you is there's a lot of new agents not nearly as good as you that are making it just fine.
Right.
So you're gonna be okay. You just gotta get through this
I
first.
think I
little
read
bit
somewhere you
starting
have to spend at least 50%, 40 to 50% of your total day every day prospecting, farming.
Well, of course, I mean, that's
Talking.
what, that's the key to
That's
success.
it.
Yeah, that is the
That's
key
it.
to success.
That's it.
So instead of worrying, if you can't sleep, get up at night and do something that's prospecting. Send a note to somebody, you know, don't text them or call them in the middle of the night, but you know what I mean, do something.
Post on your Facebook,
Post on, there you
I
go.
would do that database right away, get all those
Yeah.
letters
Yeah,
out.
that's what I'm.
Yeah.
And you've got their phone numbers, you can even call them after you send the letter,
Right.
and just, hey,
Okay.
it's me.
You got your first week's assignment, okay? Marcia, you and I'll meet individually, go through fill in the blanks that we missed.
That was quick and painless.
And I told you, and this one's pretty quick, truthfully. We're scheduled to go 1 to 3, and some of them will be quicker than others. Others of them will go the full 2 hours. So just know we'll go until we get it covered, and then we'll stop.
I had a question that's
Yeah.
completely off of this.
Yeah.
We had talked about how, because we're a part of the MLS, we get free, the core training that's required by September 30th for all of us to turn in, to keep our license.
For MLS? you
Yes,
mean?
well,
Or is it, you're talking about continuing ed stuff?
continuing education, not core.
You take
but
that through KCRER
KCRAR.
for free. And you
Okay.
can either, I don't know whether you
I
can do
saw-
that one online or not, but
I saw that there was an online one. When I went to pull it up, it told me that there was a
Is that the
fee.
24-hour
for
course?
$78?
48?
it
Okay.
is. You can take class, call KCRER.
There should be free ones.
But
It's free.
is it supposed to, okay.
Yeah, they're
It said
free.
something about wanting my NERDS ID. Do I
Yeah.
put my ID in there for it? And then it
too.
tells me
Misty, it's been so long, I truly
Okay.
don't remember.
Okay.
But call KCRER and ask them if you have any problems with that, because those classes are paid for.
Okay.
And how long, I just got my license
Uh-huh.
last month.
Yeah.
And they're telling me that it's expiring in November.
Yes.
I heard
Yes.
that.
You know,
Yeah.
what is that?
That happens this time of year.
It's every 2 years. You
It's
just
every
got
2
in at the
years.
wrong time.
It's based on the year and the first letter of your last name is how they put people in there, and so they don't all expire at the same time, so that we're all kind of,
Staggered
Staggered.
out.
yeah.
They
So-
told me the same thing, I just applied last Tuesday, and they said you will have to do your continuing education
Again,
already this year by September the 30th.
30th,
Yeah.
yes.
Just do it. Just do
That's
it.
twelve-
Deal
that's
with it.
12
It's
hours
just
a
more
week.
you can
Yes,
learn.
12 hours.
Do it,
I'm
yeah.
not afraid of that. But what kind of, I mean, so that's.
If you're signed up with the ML, with the
Yeah,
KCRAR, then it's
It's
free,
free.
is
You
my
don't-
I need to
understanding.
find, they
So
won't
it's
send
like the
you anything.
webinar, you just sign up, a lot of them, I think, you can do the online classes. So you sit through however long it is, and then you take a,
test.
and then you take a test at the end of it to make sure
Or
that
if
you sat there
if
the
you don't
entire
wanna
time.
take the test, go to the class, just go sit in the classroom for 2-3 hours and do
Class,
that.
yeah. but the
Oh
tests
yeah,
are
if you
easy.
go into the classroom, they don't do an after test?
Nope, so you can do it
Yeah.
either way.
But
Or
the-
you do it, yeah, after the test online.
Well,
No,
but
if you go
in
to class,
person,
if you
you
don't
don't
go
have a
online, you
test.
don't have to take the test, you just go and sit through the
because you
class.
showed up in person and they, okay.
The
Okay.
test is easy.
Because
I
the
did one,
website, you
so
could just start it and
easy.
walk away, so they
Yeah.
wanna make sure that you were actually there.
Right.
Okay.
Right, yeah, the test is
Well,
really
how
easy, whatever you
exciting.
prefer. Thank you guys, you got big things to do this week, so get your database all pulled together. Next week is a good one, don't miss it. You'll enjoy hearing from these 4 realtors, they're
And
awfully
in
good.
August, they're all gonna be in the afternoon as well.
Every single one of them for 10 weeks from 1 to 3.